A startling revelation regarding his wife is given to Xavier Collins in Paradise Season 1, Episode 6, You Asked for Miracles. It was stated in earlier episodes that Teri, Xavier's wife, was assumed dead by the surface cataclysmic event and did not survive the journey to the underground city with her husband and kids. President Cal Bradford dispatched a team of experts to look into the possibility that some of their loved ones might still be alive on the surface, as Xavier and many of the people in Paradise were obsessed with the idea. Samantha, Sinatra, Redmond made sure that the residents of Paradise were not aware of this. However, the conclusion of Paradise episode 4 showed that the surface is still habitable despite the horrific destruction that took place. The seeds for Teri's possible survival were sown by the surface disclosure. In the latter seconds of Episode 6, Sinatra confronts her after confronting her in the conclusion of Paradise Episode 5, and she asserts that Teri is still alive. The surface is still habitable, and the scientists are heard on tape stating that they came across survivors while on their expeditions. It seems conceivable that Sinatra is speaking the truth about Teri's existence in light of these revelations. As the flashbacks in Episode 6 show, Teri is a brave, daring, and intelligent person. Her ability to survive Paradise's world-ending cataclysm and to continue living for years in a post-apocalyptic wasteland would be greatly aided by these qualities. Even if Teri might still be alive, it's doubtful that Sinatra was aware of her survival. Sinatra had Billy Pace murder all of the scientists and told them not to bring back any survivors they discovered. She may not be aware that Teri is one of the survivors, let alone where she is at the moment on the surface, but she is aware that there are survivors out there. Although Teri might still be alive given what Sinatra knows, it appears more likely that Sinatra is attempting to manipulate him because Xavier's rebellion and threat to Sinatra's life threaten all of Paradise. Sinatra tells Xavier that his wife is still alive and acknowledges that she had Billy killed, but he maintains that she was not involved in President Bradford's demise. She has no reason to lie to President Bradford about what transpired if she is prepared to be honest with Xavier about ordering the death of his best buddy. Given that there are still 2 episodes of Paradise Season 1, the murderer is still out there and needs to be apprehended. Although Sinatra was too obvious a suspect, it did make sense that she was the mastermind behind the president's demise. Given that the deadly Jane Driscoll works for her, Sinatra is shown in Season 1 as the most formidable and perilous character. However, there might be someone in Paradise much more potent and frightening than Sinatra if she was not involved in the president's demise. According to Dr. Gabriella Tarabi, Xavier and Sinatra's cooperation might be the only means to save Paradise and the only way for them to find out who assassinated President Bradford. It's also possible that the president killed himself and staged his murder to make it appear as though he had been murdered. The flashbacks in Episode 5 show how he felt abandoned by everyone he loved and was attempting to expose the truth about the surface. Maybe he understood that the only way to get his son, Jeremy, Xavier, Agent Robinson, and others together to look into and find out the truth would be for him to die. Carl, Xavier's idea was not just about launching the message, "They are lying to you," into the sky. Robinson goes to where all the guns are kept and takes them as Sinatra and her group are still obsessed with the message in the sky and make unsuccessful attempts to take it down. She learned about the secret gun stash and how to get to it during her affair with President Bradford, and she now makes full use of it. "They are lying to you" is just the first of several messages that are being projected into the sky. Among the subsequent messages is, "Who is Sinatra?" accompanied by a countdown. In order to make it obvious to everyone that they are living in an underground dome rather as a picturesque village, Sinatra shuts down the simulated sky after the countdown is over and bombs are let off. Then Sinatra leaves with the rest of Paradise's leadership. By forcing the artificial sky to shut down, Xavier hoped to coerce Sinatra into answering questions, organize the people against her, and force her hand. President Bradford has Xavier go over their departure strategy from the White House in the flashbacks of Episode 6. President Bradford makes it apparent that doomsday is imminent and that Teri should cease traveling to and from Atlanta, even though he is unable to divulge to Xavier any government secrets. President Bradford responds that they would pick up his wife from wherever she is when the time comes, despite Xavier's assertion that she is unlikely to listen to him because he has specific information on what is allegedly going to happen to the planet. This explains why, once they arrived in paradise, Xavier began to despise the president. Teri was left to die after President Bradford failed to pick her up as promised. Given the short time to get to paradise before the apocalypse consumed everything on the surface, it would not have been possible to fly to Atlanta or wherever Teri was at the time. Their connection in paradise was irreparably altered when President Bradford broke his promise, though, and Xavier was never able to look at or feel the same way about him again. Thanks for watching. For more updates stay tuned and don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel please.